Hey, Daniel Thomas Sandra Daly here. This is Noahide information. A sound diet. A sound diet. Now, I've actually, the other day, I really went back a lot on a lot of my smoking, and I've cut back a heck of a lot on ciggies. Having one at the moment, but I've cut back a lot. And yeah, I'm now down to one or two a day when I can get them. When I can get my ciggies, so I'm no longer doing the packs that I was doing every day. It's cut right back. I went through a bit of a withdrawal again, but it's been cut right back. Just the way it goes. You got to cut back. Now, a sound diet. We don't have to eat red meat all the time. I grew up in the Daly family. Mum, Cyril Daly, my dad, and Mary Daly. They're traditional red meat eaters. But I went through a vegetarian phase for a bit once, about 20 years ago, and just for about a year or so. And but about 6 months ago, around about there, 5-6 months ago, I cut down a lot of my red meat intake. When we eat animals, I suppose, or meat now, it's mostly just chicken and a bit of fish. A little bit of bacon and very little red meat now. I've actually got a mole, a freckle, whatever you want to call it, which I've had my whole life here on my chest, which was brown my whole life. Mum said it was a birthmark, and it's gone to it's faded. Just recently, it's just faded. It's just pale now, and it seems to be fading away. I don't know if it's diet or whatever, but it's really weird. But anyway, I was up above 200 kilos on the top end of my weight because I have schizophrenic medicine, which makes me sleepy a lot and puts on weight. But I'm pretty sure I'm under 200 k's now, since the diet change especially, and it's gradually coming down. A diet. Now, anorexia, you know, if you try to get into an anorexic mentality, we know that's just a bit silly in the end. But the obesity diet, that's going to kill you too. Too thin, you're going to die. Too fat, you're going to die. You're going to have a heart attack. So one of the things of being a human being, the way we're made, is that for the intake, if you've not got much exercise in you, if you've got not much working out, then the intake has to drop right down to the point where you're maintaining a reasonable weight for the exercise that you do, for the activity that you do. You have to maintain a reasonable weight for the amount of calories and energy coming into your body. So it doesn't actually matter if you eat a chocolate bar every now and again. It's the amount of that you eat. You can have a cream puffed donut. It's just the amount of the cream puffed donut that you eat. Gorge on them, you blow up like a big donut man. The Stay Puffed Man or whatever it is from Ghostbusters. You have a huge heart attack territory, and you know it. We all know that. That's heart attack territory. You got to keep that under control. So one of the ideas in life as a human being is that you're going to have to find discipline. And if you've had weight problems in your youth and they're hanging around as you get older, you're going to have to bite the bullet and learn some discipline gradually to constantly push at that weight battle to eventually get that diet under control. When the diet's gotten to the point where you're eating healthy food, you might have a little bit of fatty food in there, which is not the end of the world. But when the weight, you've hit the top, and it's finally starting to come down a bit, you've got to keep on going to get that balance right. You've got to make sure that the intake is appropriate for maintaining a decent level of weight. You don't have to do a huge amount of exercise. You just need to eat less. You need to eat healthily and eat less of the food, less of the fatty foods, to the point where You're maintaining, the amount of activity you have, you're maintaining a decent enough weight. It's not really a problem being a bit chubby in the end, if you can get around and carry that weight okay. You're not necessarily going to have a heart attack if you can carry that weight okay. If you can work with it and you're feeling okay, then run with that if that's what you like. But in the end, most of us still don't even like being terribly chubby if we can at all help it. The diet is about eating good foods and healthy foods. We know the healthy foods we're supposed to eat, vegetables and fruits. But having a bit of meat is okay if we keep it under control. For me, for someone like me, the red meat and gorging, at Christmas I'm obviously going to gorge. I mean, I'm a Noahide and I don't technically celebrate Christmas, but the family does, and I just run with the flow, so I don't really care. It's the holiday season. I don't mind gorging a bit at Easter, and at Christmas and at Easter I don't mind having a bit of Easter eggs and stuff. A bit of chocolate at Easter. I don't really care. It's not really too much of an issue. But the idea is, for diet, be moderately and sensibly, and as years go by, you try and get it under control more so. You get a bit of discipline from time to time. You discipline yourself from time to time to eat a little bit less and make that little bit of a change in your plan of life to get it a bit more under control. You don't have to win the fight overnight or in 6 months. You can take a lifetime to get it right, but for eternity, especially in the light of eternity where it is still an issue, the idea is to work on your diet, to work on your weight, to work on your food intake, to get it down to a point where it's balanced, and that you're looking okay, and that your body's looking fine physically, and you're able to maintain a sensible, sound, and solid diet. Good nutrients, good vitamins, good minerals, good protein, good fibre, a proper balance on all those things, and you can work through all those issues yourself and what you foods that you like and what you don't like. The idea is to get to a point where you're happy with your weight, and it's about maintaining that with a discipline which maintains a reasonable and good weight which you're happy with. If you've got a partner, a wife or a husband, whatever you are, that they're happy with and which your family is happy with which your occupation is happy with, because it does reflect their employing you. If you've got a good weight management system, that generally makes people happier in the end, if you've got a good weight, and I think we know that. It makes society happier once you start dealing with issues of weight and getting under control. So work on a diet, persist with it, discipline yourself with it. You don't have to achieve a victory overnight. Just work at it and don't quit up. Take those baby steps, a little bit at a time. You're going to fall into a hole sometimes, but climb back out of that hole and stick to it. A sound diet is a part of a Noahide's life.